order the October 15th City of Wyoming City Council meeting. Please let the record show that we have a quorum. Council members Onstead, Schilling, and Yeager are present. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Council Member and veteran Dennis Schilling.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Next is open forum, which is an opportunity for members of the public to address city council items on or not on the current agenda. Items requiring council action may be deferred to staff or boards and commissions for research and future council agendas if appropriate. You will be limited to 3 minutes, and we ask that you conduct yourself in a professional, courteous manner and refrain from the use of profanity. Failure to abide by this policy may result in your loss of your privilege to speak. Do we have folks for open, would anybody like to speak for open forum? Okay, come on up. Please state your name and address.
Chris Ortworth, 25730 Gramford Avenue. I want to say thank you to Councilmember Yeager, Rob Linwood, and Mark. I was on vacation. They started construction on our road. I got home on a Friday afternoon at 3:30 in the afternoon with a 31-foot motorhome, a 16-foot flatbed trailer, and couldn't get into my driveway. My camper is now being stored at a property and I'm paying storage on because I can't get it into my driveway. And that doesn't bother me, but I'm thankful for their help to get my driveway open because I had an 8-year-old son that had to go to work on Monday. There's a few things that I got issues with about the project that's going on. Number one is I don't want to know if there's anybody from the city out watching what they're doing and checking their numbers, because I've made it to every hearing for this road project and I was told everything was staying the same. That road is no longer the same. It's taking up my property, even though it's still road right away. So that's going to change my amount of acreage I have. So I'm kind of concerned about that. Mark, do you have anything?
I'll be on site tomorrow.
Because the road went from 24 feet wide now with the curb 30 feet, 5 inches.
I'd be happy to stop out and look at it with you tomorrow. I will be out present on site. We have a weekly construction meeting. I think you said, are you on vacation this week or was that?
It was last week too, but I'm back to work this week, so can't tell. I'm not. I won't be home until late in the evening, so.
Okay.
But I just wanted to know if we have somebody watching it, because when I was here for the hearings, everything was supposed to go status quo what it was. And now we're 30 feet wide instead of 24 feet wide. And you're taking property from owners on each side and you're condensing their properties to smaller, but my taxes aren't gonna go smaller. So it's kind of concerning me. And then the company said that WSB sent out their ticket on the curb after it got poured saying your driveways will be restored on the 10th, on Thursday the 10th. I contact the WB guy that's on site and he says, texts me back and says, Chris, they couldn't get rock, we can't restore your driveways till tomorrow. So I'm like, people are relying on getting in and out of their properties instead of walking a quarter mile one way because they can't park on the adjacent street because that's under construction too. So I'm kind of stuck in two areas, and those are some of my concerns. And I just wanted to have it on record, knowing that somebody needs to pay attention, because when you tell people of the city that you're paying for a project, here we're gonna assess you for a project, it's coming out of your pocket, and you're told that this is the way it's gonna go, and nothing about this project has gone the way they said it was gonna go. My road was not supposed to be hit until 2025, spring of 25. I go on vacation, next thing you know, asphalt's gone, curb's in, I come back, I can't get in my driveway. I understand the email thing, but as a city, we should be able to tell people somehow. And even where I was at camping, there was no service. Even if you would've emailed me, I wouldn't have gotten any notification that I had it. But that was all. I just wanted to thank a few of the members, Rob and Linda and Mark, for all your help getting my driveway back open. But there are some concerns because there's a lot of things. And did anybody know that Midco is now running a fiber line right alongside? I've got big holes in my yard. They're digging and putting in a new fiber line.
They have not informed.
So it's Rock Construction's doing it, and I come home tonight and I've got a mini excavator in my yard. They're down digging into my yard in the inside corner, and I'm like, yeah, there's a fiber line going through. I found out about it on Sunday because one of our XL locators was going through saying, yeah, they're gonna push fiber through here now, and I'm like, oh, nice to know. So just some things to think about. Hopefully council can take a look at some of these things. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would anybody else like to speak? Nope.
Maybe I can just, I'll try to provide a couple of quick answers.
Okay.
And I will follow up with you, Chris, and I think that you raised some good points, but we have been putting together, a weekly newsletter from our contractor. And I will say, that it has changed every week from what they have provided us. And so I know that they're struggling with subcontractors and schedules, and they provide us every Wednesday with what their outlook is. And we then put together a newsletter, and then we send it out on Friday. And it's either people that have signed up for an email, or it's put on the city website. We mailed the first 3 and just said, this is the last one that we're actually putting in the mail, because it takes a few days to get there, and some of the notices we want to get out quicker than that. And so sometimes it's old news, and so we put that out. Kind of sequentially, we did say we're gonna do a portion of Brantford, and then said keep an eye out for future newsletters. They may want to tackle a little bit more. We sent out a newsletter, I think before you left on vacation, but I know you weren't signed up for the email notification before vacation. And so when they missed that, they came back and the concrete was poured. And so I know that is very difficult to try to accommodate if you weren't aware of it, right? And I know you commented that been nice of the contractor, but it mentioned something to you.
Right,
Sunday
they
pulled
saw us
Monday
loading
morning.
up on Monday morning. It
Yeah,
would've
so-
been nice if somebody would've said, hey, you realize we're gonna come through here and tear a curb, you ain't gonna be able to get back in.
And they may have thought, well, he already knew because he read the newsletter or something, I don't know. So I mean, there's certainly, challenges that we encounter with projects like this, and we try to be nimble as we can. That being said, the last newsletter said that, on Wednesday, they said they'd have all the driveways that had curb ramped in. Is that what you're referring to? So it
Yeah,
wasn't
they said
ramped
they
in?
would have our driveways restored, ramped in by Thursday.
And they did not.
On the 10th, no, because then your guy that's out on the project, I called him, left a message saying, hey, it says we're supposed to have our driveways restored. He responded to me with a text saying the contractor couldn't get rocked, it won't be restored until Friday.
So that was, so they were Friday and Monday, right? And so Monday for the concrete driveways, people, I think they were all supposed to be ramped by Friday because the contractor was not supposed to be in yesterday or today. Of course, they showed up today to work. So it's just, it's just so fluid, and it's a little bit challenging for us. But I thought I'd provide that. I'll follow up with you. I have your number. If it's okay, I can call you on that.
Please
I'll
do.
look into other questions and get back to you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Are you hooked into the emails at this point?
Pardon?
Have you signed up for the emails at this point?
Well, no,
Or, okay,
I guess I don't need to. I mean, I'm on planning commission and I didn't even get an email on my city email, so.
sure.
If you want, I can add that address and.
I would just add it to the city one, because I checked that for our weekly meetings, so.
Okay. I'll start sending that to that.
That would be great.
On Fridays.
Thank you. All right, if we don't have anyone else for open forum, then we will move on to the approval of agenda item number 1. Consider approving the minutes of the regular meeting of the Wyoming, Minnesota City Council meeting for October 1st, 2024. Do we have any questions? Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by member Schilling. Do we have a second?
Second.
A second by member Onstead. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Number 2, consider approving minutes of the work session meeting of the Wyoming City Council for October 1st, 2024. Do we have any questions or comments? If not, do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by member Schilling. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by member Onstead. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And motion passes. We have no scheduled bid lettings or scheduled public hearings, so we'll move on to the consent agenda. Are there any items 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8 that anyone would like to pull for discussion? If not, do we have a motion to approve those consent agenda items?
So moved.
Motion by member Schilling. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by member Onstead. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Next is to acknowledge receipt of reports of officers, directors, boards, commissions, and department heads. Would anybody like to pull anything for discussion? All right, if not, then we will move on. We have no communications or old business on the agenda, so we'll go on to new business. Agenda item 14 is to consider Resolution 24-10-100, a resolution approving an interim conditional use permit to operate a gunsmith business in the detached accessory building at 6880 Greenway Lane. Applicant Aaron Schill. Am I pronouncing that correct? I think. Schilly, okay. Property ID 21.11069.07. Mr. Weck?
Have you-
Okay.
Madam Mayor, council members, Mr. Schilly is here to get a interim use conditional use permit for a gunsmithing business. Next slide. They're on Greenway Lane. They're currently zoned rural residential 1. There's the house and an accessory structure where he wants to do the gunsmithing business. The reason for the need for the IUP is because he wants to do the accessory building. It has a 3-acre lot. Everyone else around him is zoned residential. He had a business in the state of Alabama. He restores antique firearms and customizes shotguns, rifles, and handguns. Business will be conducted primarily by Mr. Schilly. His wife helps also. All storages occur inside the existing building. He's not proposing any signage. He will create some hazardous waste, but not very much, and probably very little. But just to be on the safe side, we're requiring him to get a hazardous waste generator license with the MPCA if he does create any more. Next slide. So the staff and the planning commission are recommending approval with the 3 conditions listed there. The hazardous materials I mentioned, by all the home occupation performance standards, and then the interim use will expire when he leaves the premises or the property is sold. If you have any questions?
No.
Council questions? Member Onsted?
The only question I have is would he need this permit if he was doing inside his primary?
If he was inside the house, he would not. That'd be a permitted use, so. I get a couple of those every year. He's just the first one to do in the garage, so.
What is the process and how long is the MPCA permitting?
You just fill out the form and send it in to him, so it's not a big deal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if we don't.
Yeah, I don't have any questions.
questions.
I was fine with when I read it. so.
Okay. All right. If we have no more questions or discussion, do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by member Onsted. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by member Schilling. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. That brings us to number 15, the naming of the Wyoming Dog Park. Mr. McFarland.
Yes.
Honorable Acting Mayor and members of council. The item before you is for the new Wyoming Dog Park, opened in May of 2024. On the September 3rd, 2024 meeting, staff came to council with, they're seeking permission to hold a naming contest for the park, led by the residents, and that was approved. So we kicked that off on September 14th at our Stagecoach Day celebration. We collected names for the Wyoming Dog Park then for a week. And then from there, staff compiled all the names that were received, narrowed it down to what we thought were the top 10, and then put it to a community poll. That poll was live for a week, both on our social medias and then our website. And we received, I think, like 230 total votes. Individuals that submitted their votes got to pick their top 3. From those top 3, staff then went to the Park Advisory Commission and presented the results of that poll, to which case they went through, I have the total here, sorry, the 161 votes that were cast. And they are putting forth the recommendation to name the new dog park the Wyoming Barks and Recreation, or Barks and Rec Park. So I guess what staff is looking for is a recommendation. Our recommendation is to approve a final name for the Wyoming Dog Park amenity.
All right. Do we have any questions from council?
I don't have any questions, but I like Barks and Rec. That's it.
Member Yeager? Questions? No. Member Onsted?
I would agree with
Barks and Rec?
Parks and Rec, Dog Park.
Okay.
It's a great TV show. It's perfect for the dog park here.
Are we looking to amend it then?
Oh, no.
Or is that just your opinion?
They were selected by these people. I just.
Okay.
But do we have to
Yeah.
just pick one?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, I see 3 choices. Do we pick one?
I guess if we were looking for, specific signage and whatnot, it'd be nice to have a direction on kind of the one you want to be branded as that dog park name. That'll be what goes on our website and what shows on the sign that we would eventually put, let's say, out in front of it. So a singular name would be great.
Okay.
And the
So
first
and the Park Advisory Commission has recommended Barks and Recreation or Barks and Rec?
Parks and Recreation.
Okay.
I'm going with Barks and Rec. That's my vote.
I do
Member
like
The
Parks
first
and
item.
Rec.
Okay. All right.
I think you should put it to a formal motion and approve it.
Well, then I'm gonna make the motion that we do Barks and Rec. Wyoming Barks and Rec. So I'll make that motion.
second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Motion passes. All right, it will be Wyoming Parks and Rec. That brings us to council reports. Member Onstad.
I attended the Parks and Rec.
The Parks and
I
Rec.
attended the Park Advisory Commission meeting, and where we were talking about the names for that.
Okay. Member Schill.
I actually have no report. Thank you to those coming in and anybody watching tonight.
All right. Member Nanko Yeager.
I have no report. Thank you for coming and thank you for watching.
All right. I also have no report. Thank you for coming in and thank you for watching. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second it.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.